So as you know, the name of this channel is In Your Defense, with the priority on your defense, not attack or assault or run the gunfire. So a couple times a year I go and get a advanced rifle, defensive rifle tune-up with my little friend here. This recently I just finished the class, which is all day, and is like all day, constant moving. And I learned a few things that I thought I'd share with you guys and ladies. I don't know everything for sure, and there are a lot of folks smarter than I am about this thing, but the experience that I had in this particular class was interesting. So stay tuned, and I'll share those with you right after the intro. So the first real learning, because it was interesting, there was a mix of AR folks like me and some precision rifle, 7.62, 308, M1A kind of guys as well. I am not, and I hate precision rifle shooting. It's a pain in the ass, and I've said that on several videos. The other gentlemen in the class, however, were all into long-range shooting, that whole NRA, use a sling, wrap it around your neck, all that business. And there was a big difference in the perception of the class, the ability to execute in the class as well. Now, this isn't taking a shot at folks that really like precision rifle, because that comes in real handy when you're hunting. Defensive rifle, especially with an AR, which should be the preferred tool, or an AK variant, is active mobility, moving between cover, moving to cover, and firing on a target, getting combat effective hits. Not trying to put all the bullets in the same hole, but get combat effective hits. That means when the bullet hits the target, it's going to hurt them bad enough to stop them or drop them. May not kill them, but the next part was the tempo of the class. So we had 3 barricades, and they're the things that you see that have little stair-step things, have slits cut in them, and squares and all kinds of things, to give you a different way to shoot from behind cover, because the whole idea is defensive, and you're dealing with the threat from behind cover. So you had 3 positions that you had to shoot from while bracing on the barricade, and then move quickly to the next barricade, shoot, move quickly to the last barricade, shoot, and then get in the rumble line, and you do it again. And this was a constant rotation of people. It was a live line. All the rifles were hot, safeties were on, with the exception of which was interesting, of the Springfield M1A and the Scout. And the reason for that was, in order to make that rifle safe, you have to put your finger in the trigger and then activate the safety. And the instructor said no fingers go in the trigger unless you're pointing down range, which I thought was pretty interesting. So that was the pace. Now, at each barricade, you had the brace, and you shoot standing. Then you had to squat, not all the way down. You had to squat halfway down and shoot through a slit, and then the final shooting position was kneeling. So imagine you going up and down and running, because you're not, well, as fast as you could go safely. I mean, this wasn't trying to be crazy. Well, a couple things started happening. The guys with the larger caliber guns were having a hard time putting rounds on steel at 100 yards. Because you had a maximum of 2 seconds, right? And so what these guys were doing, and I found myself trying to do that, is to shoot precision rifle, to shoot like you're trained in Appleseed or the NRA, where you're trying to get that perfect sight picture and then squeeze it off. You don't have time to do that in defensive rifle. If you're using your rifle to defend yourself, you don't have time to do that. You have to get that reticle on target, or get your irons on target if you're using that. And as soon as it's on target, you need to release the trigger. You have less than 2 seconds. So think about that. Moving from barricade, each shot, you have 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Move to the next one, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. And it gets harder because your breathing is up, the adrenaline is up, you're more tired. I know I was. But you still had to do inside of 2 seconds. So think about this. If you have your rifle for defensive purposes, then you really ought to find some training that forces you to shoot under physical stress and shoot rapid shots at steel. Don't worry about trying to get into black. That can't matter. Just try to get those rounds on steel if you can do that. If the range that you're at will allow you to do that. And do that for a while. I mean, my class was 5 hours. And I'm telling you, I thought I was badass in good shape. Nah. The lesson there is that you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired. So if you're going to use your rifle to defend yourself and others, and you're in a situation where you believe you're going to have to move from cover, and we all need to think about that, and you're not in physical shape, because a couple of these guys, we had to get them off the line because they were so fatigued that they were becoming unsafe. And what that means is they were starting to forget where their muzzle was, all that stuff. So if you're not in good aerobic shape and good physical shape with your muscles, because your rifle is going to be 8 to 12 pounds depending on what kind you have and how much junk you have on it. And you got to be able to haul that thing around, keep it on, without a sling. By the way, that was the other thing, no sling. For a long time. And if you can't do that, just think about what that means when you get into shit and you need to use your rifle for defensive purposes. So find an advanced defensive rifle class. I am not talking about getting in a line and moving forward, firing 1 billion rounds at some paper or some steel down there. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about firing under stress, firing while moving from cover to cover, right? And being safe while following somebody else doing that. So, just saying. Thanks for watching. Carry on.